Reddit, what is your craziest story from college? NSFW. I was visiting my brother-in-law, we'll call him Mark, this past weekend, and we discussed what college would be like for me. I'm in high school. I asked him if he had any crazy stories, and he had a couple, but one was pretty damn nasty. After a lecture in microbiology class, the professor announced they were going to have a lab the next day. Before everyone left, he asked each of the students to swab their mouth with a Q-tip and place a sample of their saliva in a petri dish. After it was closed up, he labeled it with the respective student's name, and placed it in an incubator. The next day, the students returned to find each petri dish filled with various bacteria of yellowish color. Everyone's looked fairly similar, except for one. This particular petri dish was growing a greenish-blue bacteria that differed from the rest. The professor saw it, found it interesting, and gave the students each a sample of the specimen to take home and identify for homework. When Mark took home the sample, he inspected it, wrote down its properties and checked the encyclopedia for the corresponding bacteria. What surprised him was the result. The only bacteria that seemed to share these properties was one only found in semen. Since this was the only result that made any sense, and he wrote it down and went to class. When he arrived, everyone was whispering and pointing to the guy whose sample came from. It later turned out that he was correct, it did come from semen, and the guy had blown his boyfriend a few minutes before class. He never dropped out apparently, and was barely even embarrassed. TL, DR, my brother-in-law's biology class studied bacteria grown in a guy's spermy saliva.